You were the smart kid. Everyone told you so. In school, you stood out. You picked things up fast. You didn't need to study as much. You aced the tests, won the awards, and made the teachers smile. People told you, you're gifted, you're going places. You're ahead of your time. You believed them. Being smart became your identity. It wasn't just something you were good at, it was who you were. And for a while, that worked. You thrived in structured environments, in classrooms where your intelligence gave you an edge. Life felt simple. Show up. Be smart, win. But then things changed. You got older. And now you feel stuck. You're not failing, not exactly. From the outside, you seem fine. You're still capable, still clever. But something feels off. You feel disconnected. Numb. Lost. Like you're drifting through life while everyone else moves with purpose. And worst of all, you can't explain why. This isn't just your story. It's the quiet reality of so many who grew up being the smart one. The truth is, being smart became a trap. A beautiful cage you couldn't see until it was too late. Let's go back for a moment. As kids, we latch on to simple ideas of who we are. I'm the funny one. I love dinosaurs. But being called smart, that's different. That becomes a core identity. It gets repeated, reinforced, praised. You're smart when you finish first. When you don't have to try, when things come easily. So you learn, if I'm smart, things should be easy. And if something is hard, maybe I'm not so smart after all. That belief hides in the background, quietly shaping how you approach life. You start to avoid anything that might make you feel average. You only raise your hand when you're sure. You only try things you know you'll be good at. Risk feels dangerous. Effort feels like exposure. Because if being smart means being effortless, then struggling means failure. So you protect yourself. You build a life around staying in your lane. You avoid discomfort, new challenges, even new people. Your world gets smaller. Meanwhile, the kids who weren't labeled smart, they learned something different. They learned how to try, how to fail, how to get better. They weren't afraid of effort. And now, they're ahead not because they were smarter, but because they were braver. You, though, stayed in the safe zone. You performed. You maintained the image. But over time, that image became heavy and lonely. Because when you stop growing, you stop connecting. Think about it. Real connection happens when people struggle together. When they try something new and awkward and laugh about it later. When they build something, even badly, and share the joy of progress. But you avoided that. You stepped out of the flow. You watched from the sidelines. Not because you didn't want to join in, but because you were afraid. Afraid of not being the best. Afraid of being seen without the armor of intelligence. So you leaned on what you knew. Your mind. Your logic. You started to analyze people instead of engaging with them. You observed instead of connecting. It worked for a while. You could hold conversations. Maybe even charm people. But it wasn't real. It was exhausting. Because you weren't present. You were performing. Every interaction became something you had to be good at. So you pulled back. And the loneliness grew. You tried to fix it the only way you knew how, by thinking. You journaled. You analyzed. You wrote lists, arguments, reasons. You told yourself you were fine. But intelligence can't solve emotional wounds. It's not a tool for healing. It's a tool for building bridges, solving puzzles, fixing machines. Not for fixing yourself. You can't logic your way out of feeling unworthy. You can't analyze your way into feeling connected. You can't think your way into feeling loved. When the pain got sharp enough, your ego stepped in to protect you. You told yourself, "I'm not lonely, I'm just different. They don't understand me. I'm deeper than most." But that wasn't pride. That was pain pretending not to care. We call it defensive arrogance. It's a wall that keeps people out, even when all you want is to let someone in. The truth is, connection requires something that intelligence often avoids: vulnerability. You have to be seen as imperfect, as human, as someone who doesn't have it all figured out. So how do you begin? You start by letting go of the story, the identity, the title of smart kid. Not because being smart is bad, but because it's not enough. When your worth is tied to how effortlessly you perform, you'll sabotage anything that challenges that image. So choose a new identity. Not one built on talent, but on growth, on courage, on showing up. Start asking, what will help me grow? Not what will make me look smart. Start doing things you might be bad at. Take the class. Join the group. Try the awkward new hobby. Let yourself be a beginner. You don't need to impress. You need to engage. Because your value was never about being the best. It was about being real. And being real means showing up, even when it's messy. Even when it's scary. Even when you have no idea what you're doing. That's where connection lives. That's where life starts to feel whole again. So if you've been stuck in the identity of the smart kid, if you've been hiding behind potential and overthinking every move, this is your invitation. Let go. Step off the pedestal. Come down and join the rest of us. We're not perfect, but we're trying. And there's room for you here.